finally, this year, she calls. She says, okay, I got a letter from the bank. They said they're going to take the house. Now come and list the property. She owes more money than the house is worth.
This episode is brought to you by Shrubs.me.
Daryl and I, before you joined, we're talking about Green Park. Want to just finish up that conversation, Joe?
Yeah, I'd love to hear Brian's take. I don't know if you noticed what happened in Oakville with Green Park over the weekend. They drastically reduced their standing inventory. I don't know if you know about that.
No, I don't.
So Green Park went from $1,100 a foot, where they sold most of the building, and then for the last 23 units, they just put them out at $675 a foot. So we were just talking about the ramifications on the rest of the deals in the area and the rest of the market when something like that, when somebody, I guess, gets ahead of the falling market in such a drastic way. You know, what's the fallout going to be from that? What?
I think that you gotta take a loss. If you're going to incur a loss, it's better to take a loss early. There's a line that is often used about your first loss is your best loss. So I think if you're going to lose, take the loss, get the cash, and then move on so you can develop other things and get the cash. And that's the same reason why you see sales of summer goods, summer products all over the marketplace today, because you got to get rid of the summer stuff so you can bring the fall stuff in retailers. And I think it's the same in every other sector. If you know you're going to have a loss, admit it, take your lumps, get some cash, even if you're selling at a loss, particularly if it's a loss to what you want, but still not a loss to your actual cost. But even if it's a loss to your cost, take it and move on. And I think that what ends up happening often when you've got a boom bust cycle is that people that wait and don't take the early losses end up taking bigger losses longer term. And or what you got to do is, which lots of people are doing, you've seen in the marketplace, is they're offering concessions like crazy. And the amount of concessions you got to offer end up being bigger and longer, whether it be in rental free rent periods, or in condos, free lockers, low interest rate mortgages, et cetera, et cetera. You end up offering more and more and more, and it's cascading. So your first loss is your best loss.
I'll tell a little story that I got from today. So I'm a real estate agent. I work with Frankly and Associates. That's why I was plugging them there at the beginning. And so we do a lot of resale, freehold stuff. And so this lady came to me 2 years ago, and when I first met her, the very first appointment, her dog had died that day. So I got there and she's not in a good place. So she said, "Hey, meet me, come back next week or something like that." So I figured, okay, no problem. I send her some flowers. I said, "Sorry to hear about your dog." She calls me a few weeks later. I went to go see her. She says, "Hey, I'm having some issues financially. This is my situation. What do I do?" I said, "You need to sell. Hurry up." She said, "My daughter, she goes to school. I want her to be in the same home. She's born and raised in this home. Let's stay here." Over the course of the next 2 years, it's, oh my gosh, this is stressful. Oh my gosh, it's painful. Oh my gosh, da da da. Da. So finally, this year, she calls. She says, okay, I got a letter from the bank. They said they're going to take the house. Now come and list the property. She owes more money than the house is worth. We try our best. We do everything we can. We pull all the tricks, but she owes more money than what the house is worth. The offers we got were 100 grand below even what the total debt was, and the second mortgagee that was taking her power sale wasn't willing to budge because they figure they could get more money later on and protect themselves, pay the first mortgagee and figure it all out later. So today we got a message from the second mortgagee that they took possession of the house and to come remove our sign and lockbox and take it off the market because they now have possession of the house. And that's, on the residential side, homeowner side, but ultimately the same thing, right? You try to save face, or you try to, make that profit or whatever it is, please your investors, but you hang on to the sinking ship and eventually you lose everything, and developers, there are some already in that position, but there will be more, unfortunately. And there's going to be some like bigger players that we would deem to be, recession proof or whatever it is. But, maybe they've taken on a lot of debt. Maybe they got a lot of overhead. Maybe families are, splitting up, or they got different opinions or something, right? So it's interesting times, to say the least.